adjusting through that fear things I've got going on. Do you have any affirmations, any information, any help would be greatly appreciated in that department?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kira actually did something on this today. I saw it briefly. I didn't watch it, but I saw her pop up. So, oh shit.
Do you know, I just want to say something too, if I can, on that, Kieran. I don't know if you got my message earlier, honey.
Yeah.
But I just want to say too that it's really interesting that you're sick right now. That that could be a lot of self-sabotage. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
The big leap. Yeah.
Yeah. It for sure.
Yeah. Look, comparison is so damn normal. Unfortunately, you know, even I slide into comparison.
Seriously?
Yeah, totally.
See, okay. Told you, Kieran.
Yeah.
I told her you did, Kat. Just like me. We all do.
It's a normal human thing. And what's crappy about this business is that every level you achieve, they throw a damn another one at you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know. Exactly, right? So it's like you just constantly are going, and there's always going to be somebody constantly shinier and better and having a better month and running more customers through the team. And
right.
So comparison, I think, just observing it and going, that's interesting. Why am I feeling threatened by someone else's success right now? That's the question I ask myself all the time.
Okay.
And most of the time it does come back to self-sabotage. It's better to beat ourselves up rather than just get into action, right?
Yeah.
But just observing it and stop judging yourself for comparing, because I think we're taught from a very young age to compare.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is your time to play to your strengths. So instead of comparing what you suck at, what somebody else is better at, what's your strength? What can you do that's kick-ass?
Oh, you're asking me that now? Yeah. I inspire people. I did a vulnerability post today, and I've got responses from it that I don't normally hear from. So
well, keep rocking that shit, okay? Keep doing that, because somebody else is probably watching you thinking, damn, I wish I could inspire people like Kieran does. That's the nature of the game. So instead of looking at what you're crappy at, because I mean, I've shared it numerous times, I sometimes look at, you know, like two of my really good friends in this business are Sophie Hughes and Ange Simpson, two with massive social media presences. And I mean, have you ever looked at their stuff? They spend so much damn time on perfecting their social media presence that it's overwhelming. And I look at it and I think, oh, I wish my business was as shiny and nice. But you know what? I get paid the exact damn same as them, so I need to stop comparing. I need to stop worrying that's not my strength. My strength is connecting.
Yes, absolutely.
Not just looking pretty, it's actually connecting. That's where my superpower is. Yours is probably much the same. So observe it, girlfriend. Don't try and fight it. It'll happen. But play to your strengths would be my suggestion around that. And honestly, if this is a really cool thing that's probably going to come up for quite a few questions because it's my answer to everything. But if you want to look at a problem, there's always two ways you can see it. And that's either through the love glasses or the fear glasses.
Well, this is a new one. Okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah. So most of the time we deviate towards seeing it through fear because that's how we're conditioned from a very young age. And comparison is obviously a big fear contender, right?
Yeah.
That's all it does. It just ignites fear. It doesn't promote anything good feeling.
Right.
So when I know that I'm sliding towards putting those fear glasses on, I have to challenge myself and go, you know what? No, I should be happy that it's rocking it.
Yeah.
I should be happy that the person is succeeding or looking like they're rocking their business, or, you know, and if you can shift towards love more often, I guarantee you get returned love more often. It's like that, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. Whatever love glasses you've got on tends to be what experiences the universe throws at you. So choose love glasses. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I know you're drama with.
I am genuinely happy for my team members, but I'm just like blah 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 blah. Charlie Brown.
Yes.
Real good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So so normal. But yeah, if you can gravitate towards, you know what, they rock, I rock, we can all rock. That'll make you feel better.
I can spout that off till the cows come home. I'm really good at doing that, but I just suck at doing it for myself. And like you said, I believe it's years of training, conditioning, and it's probably my year to undo all that conditioning that I've got. And you got to start somewhere. So,
Yeah,
okay.
you do. But this is the most perfect spot for it. This business will change every turn, and that's a good thing, because it's all those little things that we need to let go of in our life to live a more peaceful existence. The NMD, like I think I've said it before, but NMD, like the top, it's not about the finances. It's about growing through all the bullshit that's held you back. Because we talk about financial freedom. There's a different level of freedom that comes with NMD, and it's the personal growth that it's taken to get there. Letting go of all the little bullshit, letting go of, people's thoughts of, negative self-talk, of all that kind of little crap. So it's just more that you've got to look forward to. Hate to see you laugh, but
it's okay. I will have the tool set to cope with it. It's all good.
And if you change your perspective on it, which I know you're really good at anyway, and just see it all as a challenge, like, cool, okay, well, this is popping back up again. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What can I do today to make that go away? And just challenge it rather than react to it. I promise it'll get easier.
I'm sure it will. I just have my moments. I'm normally, typical Aries, boom, shakalaka, Mount Vesuvius. Okay, cool. We're moving on. We're done.
That fire energy, girlfriend.
Exactly.
Turn it up.
So.
Perfect. No, that's
Thank you.
Did that help a little bit? Did it answer your question? To tell you that I also...
Yeah, you know what? It's I guess because you guys are, again, you're ahead of the curve already. I'm only 8 months in, so it's definitely a nice reminder that you guys are human, because a lot of times between Tanya and yourself, you're on a pretty damn high pedestal there, ladies. So, you're rocking the bling, you're doing your thing, you've got your mojo. I don't know about anybody.
Dinner, fuck off, because I'll have that tomorrow. No food. I've got no fuck.
Right.
Sorry, guys. As we were.
Yeah. So that's where it's at. So it's a nice reminder that once upon a time, not so long ago, you guys started it there. So
absolutely, and we all still have our challenges.
Yeah.
We just kind of, I guess, learn to stop reacting to them and start seeing them through different eyes, because it definitely keeps happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots to
and I know I've said this to you before, but I compare myself all the time too. I compare myself with Lauren and Ashley, who are, at the same level as me, and they got to SSC before me, and I was like beating myself up for it, and so it still comes up. It still comes up a lot for me, but it's not quite so bad anymore, because I learned to really focus on what is really good about it, and that focus on how would it feel when I'm in that position, and it really takes yourself out of yourself and puts yourself into the way they're feeling, and imagine how I would feel if I had that, so then it makes you feel good for them. And I know that you feel good for everybody, but it's a whole new level.
Linda saying to me once, it's really valuable. Like, so you know how you were just saying how you think Tans and I are on another level? That's the way I always looked at Linda. Like, I used to be frightened to even talk to her when we went to events. And now she's one of my best friends, because she said to me, I remember saying something to her, I can't remember what it was. Actually, you know what? She won't mind if I share. I'm going to share something that makes Linda seem very vulnerable and is going to pretty much knock your socks off, because you guys seem to think like up in the leadership, and I get it because I was there once, but up in the leadership, life just gets so easy. Okay, we got it. It's done. We don't have the challenges. We don't compare. Nothing happens. But I can tell you it does. It's just a whole different level of it. And one day I went over to Linda's house, and at this stage we had quite a good friendship. And I could tell that she'd definitely had a shitty day. And we went out the back, we're having a cup of tea, and she started crying. And I was like, girlfriend, what's wrong? And she said, I'm having a lot of trouble. I just don't feel relevant in the team. And I looked at her and I was like, what the fuck? Like, do you realize who you are? You're the goddamn queen. Like, who is not making you feel like this? And she said, look, like, there's just Adam, there's Brian, there's Lorian, there's Shani, there's so many other people. No one needs me anymore. I'm not relevant. I don't give any value to people and I'm feeling lost about it. And it blew my mind apart because anybody who's ever watched Linda, you cannot replace her. Like, she cannot be made redundant. And yet
No way.
to this feeling of comparison,
Yeah.
And yet it's just a human nature. And it did take me sitting there saying, you're the goddamn queen. Like, my team adore you. I know thousands of people in the team that just think you're amazing. And I'm not sure if you guys know, but this was probably about 18 months ago. Do you remember this time when Linda fell off the grid?
Yeah.
Off the grid for a little while, and after we had this convo, she came back with vengeance, and now she's just on fire. She's got her Elevate team, she's back, and she's just the Linda that that was at the start. But it's really interesting to know that it happens. And when we got talking, I said, I just honestly thought that your life would be so peachy. You earn about 80 grand a month, you run this business, people just look up to you like you are a legend. And you still have all this bullshit going on inside. And she said, the funny thing is about this business is that we always put somebody else on a pedestal. And she said, but when we do that, we put ourselves in a pit.
Yeah.
And it really got me thinking, like, so many other times we put the leaders up, or we put the person who's just got the promotion up. And because we're putting them up, it instantly lowers our standard.
Okay.
And I found that really interesting. It was something that I thought, from now on, I'm going to observe people for their business and I'm going to respect them for their business, but I'm never going to put them personally on a pedestal because I know they're all just as fucked up as the rest of us.
Well, no, it's kind of like your training last night to do with the outstanding, the excellent, and the good. It's the checks and balances, I guess, in the end. If you put somebody on a pedestal, you're putting yourself down here. So it's about they're just people,
Yes.
And
it's
that's really good information. Thank you.
Cool. My pleasure. It's interesting to know that we all go through the same thing. Human nature.
Well, the timing sucks.
Absolutely. What other questions or stuff have we got? Stop, Max. I feel like you're treading water. What do you mean by that? Oh, have you lost connection, darling? You might be frozen.
Do we have you, Max?
No, she looks like she lost. What about you, love?
Oh, here she is.
Sorry.
You're right, darling.
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like, I just feel like I do the wash, rinse, repeat thing. Lately I've been feeling a bit burnt out, I must admit.
Yeah.
Doing the wash, rinse, repeat and not really feeling like I'm getting anywhere that fast. Like, not completely not getting anywhere, but just not, like, trying so hard to get new team and just very hard to get people across. Yeah. And I do get a reasonable number of inquiries, but, just not getting anywhere really all that fast, I guess. Yeah. Lately I've been just feeling a bit burnt out with it.
I totally get that. As well. Can I tell you, I have those feelings too. I think, again, that's totally natural. Things that help me during that time is making sure that I schedule lots of pink time, so lots of time that actually makes me happy. Doing things that totally aren't related to the business. And again, I think it tends to come when we've done the business for quite a while. So we get to a little bit of a slump, I think, around about that 6 months, and then it tends to happen again when you're coming up to a year, and then it tends to happen on a bit of a schedule. And I think it's because we get stuck in the how-to, we get stuck in the system, and we no longer get stuck in the excitement and what makes us happy and what we're actually here for. We get more stuck into, like the structure and what are we sending out, and rather it's all up here rather than down here. if you feel me. So
Yeah.
Can you relate to that a little bit?
Yeah. I suppose I just keep thinking, am I doing it right? Do I need to be rethinking my, so now I'm back to, after that amazing training with Val Gamer the other night. So now I'm back to thinking my brand and and just constantly trying to refine that. I must say the people I've been attracting through my cold markets recently have been really a lot better, so a lot closer to what I am looking for. So I know that my refining my brand and tribe is happening. It's working, which is really great.
That'll really help to bring some of the excitement back if you're working with
people
who make you excited.
Yeah, but I mean, I always struggle with I'm not doing enough, or I could do more, or I need to get my shit together more in some way, or
Are you always this hard on yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm a procrastinator, so I'm always So
that tells me if you're procrastinating, it comes back to the training that we did last night. Have you watched that one yet?
No.
I'm going to put the recording up later, but have a watch, because we talked about when your shoulds become musts, that's when it becomes and at the moment it sounds like you should be doing all this and you're putting a lot of pressure on you because you're procrastinating because you're not. But when those shoulds turn into, oh my God, I can't wait to do this tomorrow, like I can't wait to do it, and it does have that excitement and that different feel of energy, it becomes a lot easier to do, and then we don't have to be so mean to ourselves when we don't get it done. So I would have a look there, Maxine, and I can't remember, I think we might have had a talk about this, but you come up stuck, this would have been months ago, but have a look around what your big vision is for this vehicle. So way bigger than you, how you can actually impact the community, impact a legacy, what you're going to create from this business. Like I know Sarah shared hers last night and it was freaking awesome, but like what's something that is so much bigger than you that's going to set you on fire? So just to give you a little bit of an example, mine was I hit this kind of patch when I went NMD. So I did a lot of fine tuning. I got my brand up. I worked really, really hard. I hit NMD and then I went into a massive slump where it was no longer fun anymore. I'd kind of lost it because my biggest vision at that stage was to create a 6-figure income. That was all I focused on. That was all I was, get my kids a 6-figure income, have the freedom, do the single boss mum stuff. And as soon as I hit it, I was kind of like, well, what now? And all my energy had just gone because nothing was fun. I felt like it was just wash, rinse, repeat every day. It was like all the glitter had gone from the business. And then I got talking to Simon Mitchell, who was my coach at that time. And he said to me, it's because you don't have a vision anymore. Your vision has been succeeded. So you got to think bigger. So we got thinking, and that was the year that I turned 30. And he said, why don't you try and retire 30 people this year? And I was like, holy shit, like that's a big vision and a big statement, and it scared me a little bit, but it was so damn exciting to think, could I do that? Could I actually tell my kids one day that the year I turned 30, I helped retire 30 people from their shitty job? And it started getting me excited, and it started making me actually want to turn up the next day, because I thought, yeah, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to help as many people as possible. And then the feeling of getting it done and being able to say that I ticked it off was insane, but it then created a whole nother vision of like, well, what now? So I think constantly and consistently through this business, you're going to have to tweak your vision and your big end game type plan. And I feel like if you don't even really have one to begin with, just focusing on the next step, so for like you, that SSC, it's not enough. You've got to be really big and passionate.
We're talking about the same Maxine. This is something that she's been kind of struggling with a little bit, eh?
Yeah. I don't really have one at the moment.
it's worth having to think about. It is.
Mm.
I mean, if you have a look, brainstorming like a mud map, you know, like put in the middle vision, and then, so, you know, I would just kind of go like this to work out what I wanted to do. Oh my God, I can hear my baby. She obviously didn't fall asleep very long. So put vision in the middle and then just come out. So, you know, like mine was meditation and then consciousness and retreats. And I just started putting all the things down that I was really, really interested in doing. Things that made me happy. So, you know, spending time with my family, financial freedom, like having that kind of stuff. And then I got to the stage where I was like, okay, well, how do I put all this together? How do I impact a legacy on what actually makes me happy? And it was really cool. Like last night we heard from Chrissy, who's one of the new girls over in Brisbane. She's got a lot of family in New Zealand. And she was talking about how they live on the bones of their ass because the accommodation is so much, you know, rent-wise, particularly in the Auckland areas. So she was saying that they literally have no money. They're constantly borrowing money, which means that they're constantly on a lower vibration and, you know, living off smokes and alcohol because it numbs out their reality. And so hers was to have enough money to create accommodation for people to come and be able to contribute. And it was just beautiful. Like, it was absolutely gorgeous. Had nothing to do with Youth Plus, but you could see how the vehicle tied into it. And that's how she felt like she could really give back. So it's interesting to think, what is your vision? What do you really want to create? And then getting a vision or a mission statement is really cool. So something that says, my mission is, when you start, you can actually just so that would definitely be my kind of recommendation around that, darling. Do a little bit of brainstorming around what you want to do, why you think your soul was put down here. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And book in a coaching call with Tans, because I know Tans is really good at that. She'll be able to kind of help pull some things out of you, especially because she does know you. She knows what you like and what kind of lights you up. Something to think about. And that's kind of
Thank you.
My pleasure. Definitely watch that training, honey, because we talk about both of those. So it seems like that one was kind of made for you. So I'll put it up. Just copied and pasted it as I sat down here.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'm going to forget. I'm going to go out of here and listen to this baby crying, and it's going to go straight out my mind. Oh my God. I swear I've got about 2,000 tabs open in my messenger. What about, who else? Who else has got something that's holding them back?
I have.
Yeah, go for it, darling.
I seem to be stuck in having an intuition to write something in a certain way on my posts or in my conversations with potentials.
Yeah.
And then I just really freeze up and I have to really coach myself through and just say, it's okay, you can write this down. So I'm kind of stuck with trusting my intuition.
Okay. What do you think's keeping you from in that freeze mode? Are you concerned about what people are going to think, or second guessing that it's the right thing to say?
Second guessing, I think.
Okay. It's a bit of a hard one, because I think that would come back to me if I was doing one-on-one work with you, Moni. It would kind of be a self-worth issue, because I mean, people love and follow you, and they're on your Facebook and they have you as a friend because they do love you and they love what you put out, the vibe and the energy that you bring to the world. So don't be frightened to show that. I don't think it will be looked at strange, or I think you kind of need to build up that confidence muscle, because when you do put yourself out there, and sometimes even you might muck up, sometimes you might say the wrong thing, or it might not look favorable to everybody, but doing that, it does create your tribe, and it shows you which people want to work with you because they're attracted to exactly who you are. And Tans will be able to back me up on this. The more honest and congruent you get from the start, the less idiots you have to bat off later in your business. I promise. because so many times people, I guess, censor what they post on Facebook. Like, that's why I swear, you know, if it offends somebody, cool, I probably wouldn't want to work with you, because me being me and me being authentic, I know that's what works for me. So I don't want to censor myself to somebody else and not play to my strengths, if that makes sense. I know that I would rather just be me and attract people who can deal with it, because then we're going to get our higher goods out of each other. So I think, absolutely, that's what I was just going to say, Maxine. I think giving yourself permission to just run with it, go with it. Don't let anybody stop you. This is the best vehicle to be able to create success in it. And obviously you have a lot of belief in it, because I know you keep turning up. So yeah, I would just inspire people with that. You could do something really powerful.
Okay, thanks, Kat.
My pleasure. I'm going to go and support all your posts now. Make sure you tell me if you've got one coming up. But I think it's awesome. So many people second guess what they post, or then worry about what other people are going to think. And I get it. It's pretty normal, especially at the start of your journey, because we're conditioned again to care about what other people think. But people are always going to disagree with you. There's always going to be someone out there that thinks you're not cool. There's always going to be someone out there who wants to be a negative ferret. I think you just have to learn to stop giving them power. That is my advice for anybody else that's going through the issue of not wanting to post. Because we know that posting works, especially consistent posting. It is what creates a really epic business. Yeah.
And the really lovely thing about it is, like, kind of similar to what Kate said before, is the more that you are posting from your heart, the more that you are authentic and vulnerable and just sharing where you are in the moment, how you're feeling, the less neck ferrets you get, the more love you get, the more support you get. You find that because it just increases your vibration. You're just coming from a completely different space. And so those people who don't vibe with you are not actually going to see your posts anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
There's no need to kind of worry or, bring yourself down when you're feeling like, oh, what are people going to think about this? Who's going to react to this really badly?
I suppose the thing is, I still have Parkinson's, and it's not a cure, but it's an addition. So it's like feeling like there's a bit of false representation, wanting to be authentic, but not wanting to talk about the P factor all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. But I think just what you said is perfect. It's not a cure. That's it. You don't have to. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get
Okay.
some.
Like we chatted about this last night too. Or was it this one, or was it no? This was on my live on Monday. Around being authentic and around actually sharing your journey as raw and authentically as possible. Because when we do try and hide things, or we put on masks, or we try and be what other people want us to be, it actually gets lost in translation. And that's when we cop a lot of the judgment. That's when we cop a lot of the extra bullshit that comes along. So I think just be really honest about it, Moni. You don't have to bring it up all the time. But I think the fact is, does the product make your life easier with your condition?
Yes, much easier.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I think that it probably brings more integrity to the product if you do say that it's not a cure. And that I still struggle with my health, but I love the fact that this alleviates a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that.
My pleasure. I probably, if we've got one more, who's got a goodie for me? Because I'm going to have to go and alleviate.
Yours, honey?
Okay. Anybody else?
Do you want to ask your question, honey? You can come off mute if you want to.
Are you talking to me, Tanya?
I am, yes. Sorry, did you not hear me?
Okay. I didn't hear you were talking to. Yeah. Now, as I was just saying in my comments there, do we want to promote our vision, and if so, how do we do it in our posting? like, as I said to you last night, my vision came to me yesterday, and I've become extremely passionate about that today. It's just been playing on my mind constantly. I even sat down and told my husband this morning, I said, I've actually got a vision. And I told him about it, and he's like, wow, that sounds fantastic. Where's my bus? And I'm like, oh, you can go down on your bus. I'm staying at the retreat. So how do we include the vision that we have in with our posting?
I would just flat out put it out there. Like, just like what we were talking with Moni, doing a post around, you know, like last night I was on a training and I got asked to share what my vision is. And just be honest and say, I've never freaking thought about it. But, you know, like, and then go down and say, it's really funny how, like, the majority of us don't actually think why we're here, why we can contribute, and then go into what it is. If I can give you guys a little bit of a tip, though, one thing that I've noticed, and I'm going to pull it up in the team a little bit more, is that we all have a lot to say. So in this kind of aspect, Sarah, my God, I was going to call you Sophie for a second because I was just literally thinking about my cousin who lost her daughter. Oh my God, my brain's got turned into shit. But Sarah, I think you obviously got a lot to say, and it's really, really important to get it all out. But I would actually spread this over quite a few posts, you know? So like the first one could be just literally saying, I got asked to think about what my vision is. It's honestly something I've never thought about. You know, have you guys, what are you here to do? If you had to pick something to do on the earth, what would it be? Around posting like that. And then, you know, in another few days, you could say, you could even kind of lead into when I lost my daughter, it got me thinking that perhaps this is something I want to give back to the world, whatever it could be. But then I would just slowly start sectioning it out. But I would heavy run it over the next couple of months so that people know exactly why you're running this business. Exactly why. Like I wouldn't leave it subtly. I wouldn't leave it up. I would keep talking about it. I would even start looking at a brand. I would even start calling your charity something. I would start making it real and making it exist, and I would talk about it nonstop, because we look back at, you know, like, I hate this example because him as a person makes me shiver, but we look back at Hitler. Now, he was so damn effective because his vision was so strong. Now, not everybody agreed with it, but he was dead set on his vision. He shared it. He went hard out. He believed it 100%. He was so certain, and he told anybody that would listen. And he had freaking followers coming out of his behind. And it was the worst vision that we could possibly imagine. And he had followers because his vision was so strong, and he just went with it. So if you do have a strong vision where you can help people, don't belittle on it. Don't play small with it. You start going straight out there, throwing it in as many posts as possible, and be really proud about it, especially with yours, because it's such a beautiful vision. Really is. Beautiful.
I did come up with a name for it today anyway. So, yeah. And I know Karen would totally understand this, and I've pretty much named it Little Footprints Retreat.
Yes.
Little footprints, they leave little footprints on our heart, don't they, Karen? And it's there for a lifetime. So that's what it's going to be called, Little Footprints Retreat.
Yeah, that's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah. It's really lovely.
Where are you going, Karen, to get another box of tissues?
Sarah,
Yeah.
this is my son. These are his ashes. And what do you see?
Oh.
So they basically look like little footprints in the sand.
Yeah.
Well done.
And in the picture that we've got of Laura, we've got her, the midwife took, that she used ink, and she did the footprints and handprints in a diary for us. And so we transferred those over to a picture, and we gave all our family that for Christmas the first year that we lost her. So that's what, as I say, I just believe the little footprints, they left on our hearts forever. So that's why I wanted to name it the Little Footprints Retreat. Yeah.
Go, girl. You start posting about this endlessly. You make sure that every single person on your friends list knows what you're up to, and that you're using this vehicle to create it, because you know what, it's going to add so much more integrity around why we do what we we do. So many people assume that we create a network marketing business just to make money. And I think that that is probably about 10% of the people that come into this business. The other 90% actually just really want to create something good in the world. We get the tingly feelings of contribution, and we love the product, and we love the good vibes and the good feedback. And that's why we keep turning up. So, you know, that's what we need to show people, that we do network marketing because we see it as a vehicle to create the income that's going to give us those choices. So I'm really proud of you. And I definitely think that everybody should be working on a vision as to what they're going to make with this, what they really want to achieve. Did you just miss me? Is that what it was?
That's really sweet. Has anyone else got any questions for Kat?
No, you're all good? Well, it was lovely hanging out with you guys. And I definitely want to, I know I've said this before, but once she gets a little bit easier, I want to start popping into here a little bit more often so that we can definitely move forward with this, because I think it's something really powerful. You guys are so lucky. Hey, Tans, have you filled them in yet with the goals?
Yes.
I don't want to put my foot in it, but did you know that Linda is going to do a call with you if you hit 50 customers as a team?
Let's do it, guys. We can do it.
You know, having Linda between, say, the 10 of you would be freaking epic, because she will seriously get your shit under wraps. She'll work with you one-on-one. She will, and you know, her coaching time is worth $400 an hour. So think about it. You guys get that 50 new customers in your team, and then you've pretty much won $400 worth of coaching.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too. I feel like if any team in my business can do it right now, it's you guys. 100%. You're on fire. Absolute fire.
I told them that too.
Yeah, I feel like every time I put the recognition up, I'm like, oh, Tams' team. Oh, Tams' team. Tams' team. There's another one from Tams' team. It's just endless. So I'm really proud of you guys. I think you're doing some epic stuff. And I know it's because you have such big hearts. And I think that's really what's going to just continue you guys knocking us out the ballpark. Become an NMD team. And then we'll do something really epic. Really, really epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's creating vision.
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. I better go. I'm going to go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kat. It was so nice to have you on.
Thanks, Kat.
True blessing. Thank you much.
Thank you so much, Kat.
Bye, guys.
Lovely to see you, baby.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
I've got tea.